At our last Grand National cross-country race, Caleb Russell came into the event with a 3-race win streak, ran into trouble of his own, and again Charlie Mullins, who dominated from beginning to end the KR streak and retake the points lead. Loretta Lynn is next. It's time to go Grand National Cross Country Racing here on Racer TV. It's the AMSOIL GNCC Series presented by Maxxis. An AMA National Championship back at the venerable Loretta Lynn's Ranch for this Parts Unlimited Loretta Lynn's GNCC. We were not here last year, so it's good to be back at one of the original venues of this championship. Unfortunately, the rain has joined us, not slowing down our 10 a.m. race. See Casey Martinez getting off to a good start in the women's class. But check out the umbrellas and the spring flowers, which are out here. Seems like every weekend this season we have great weather for our ATVs on Saturday and rain for the bikes on Sunday. There's Cooper Mullins on the handlebars with Dad, Charlie. Caleb Russell wants the points lead back. Josh Strang wants a piece of these KTM riders. He's come close each week. Look out for Jordan Ashburn on the number 7. Had a great season going so far this year. The number 5, Paul Whibley, meanwhile, struggling a bit. Needs to get in the groove. Today could be the day. I don't think the weather really will be a factor, though. You do see some standing water in the flat section off the start. But if you've ever been here for the motocross race, you'll actually be surprised just how hilly and sandy the soil is on the race trail. So the rain should not be an issue. Let's see what the best riders in the off-road world can do. Ashburn, beautifully done. Well, good enough to lead them into turn 1, but Russell able to go to the inside and take it away. They're slipping and sliding a bit. Charlie Mullins says, I'll take it. And this is bad news for everyone else. These KTM boys don't always get the hole shots. When they do, though, we might have trouble on our hands. See a little bit of sunshine, I think, on top of the mud, but it is Mullins controlling it as they head into the woods. Ashburn is 3rd, Strang in 4th. Haven't seen many good starts for Strang this year. And Whibley, old hole shot master. Last couple of rounds hasn't quite worked out the same. We go back to the line for XC2 for the 250s. And they're having a tough time getting traction. I thought Nick Davis was going to have it, but no. It's the 24 of Michael McGinnis. So digitaloffroad.com hole shot award to him. Russell grabbed, by the way, the all balls hole shot award in XC1. Look at this, down the inside, Davis. Trying to make it work. You do not want to fall down early on right there. You'll have the gloves completely covered in mud, and you'll have to pass everyone and get roosted all day. So good job by Davis to just save it. Certainly understand the pull to try to get into the lead early. Sometimes, as they say, discretion the better part of valor. Back to XC1. Here's Mullins throwing the slop off the track, and the pace is fast early. The Yamaha boys running right with the KTMs. Got a great setup at the beginning of this one. And you can tell it's not a full-on mudder the way these guys are hauling the mail right now. Russell back into the lead. One thing, you see a little bit of standing water here. One thing we may have to deal with, actually, when you have rain like this, it'll make the tree branches sometimes hang over the trail, and that gets on the goggles. You can duck the mud or deal with the mud. When you get straight up water on the goggles, you are in trouble. So that will be one thing to watch. Look at that Duval. Nice line there on the inside on the RideMPS.com Honda. That is Stuart Baylor. A terrible start there on the FMF KTM. He's got work to do. His teammates are up front, Russell and Mullins. And as I was saying earlier, it seemed like the one thing they could not dominate in this series was the starts. But now they sure are. They have Ashburn and Strang trying to hang with them. But the story is so similar today that it has been the last couple of seasons. It's all about the muscle. Mullins and Russell out front. Oh, KR has opened it up a bit. Mullins still in striking distance, but not quite as close as he was. And see what Strang can do. He had a really good race of it at Steel Creek a couple of weeks ago, but was way back off the start and had to do way too much work to try to get these KTM riders. I know that Strang wants better starts, wants to have them in sight. He has now gotten around Ashburn, so he's trying to do just that. See them early, run with them late. And look at this. Strang has gotten right there on the rear fender of Mullins, and credit to Ashburn on the AmPro and Fab Yamaha doing the same. I believe that's Jason Thomas in the Dirt Wise Riding Schools machine, and then Andrew DeLong on the factory Husqvarna coming through next. Looking for pieces of the top 5. The KTM folks pitboarding here at the bottom of the hill. Heck, everybody's down here right now, and that is Russell stopping for goggles. Well, I mentioned what can happen in the mud and with the tree branches and whatnot. Well, it obviously had an impact because Russell has dropped to the back of this train, and Mullins has the lead for the second time. And I like where Strang is right now. Wants to duel with these guys. He's up to second. He's got the opportunity to do it. Look at this pack there, close. Chris Bach on the JCR. Rockstar Honda is right there. Now Mullins putting the hammer down. I know it's a muddy race day, but you got to make hay while the sun shines. And that opportunity, he knows that Russell pulled over. He's put the hammer down. Looks like Russell quickly up to second. That didn't take long. He's in hot pursuit, but right now Charlie Mullins has got the lead, and he doesn't want to give it up.
Twins have notoriously been very hard on crankshafts because that big long stroke of those 2 cylinders just flexes the crankshaft around. So we were seeing bearing issues. Research development people at AMSOIL could show us that it was likely an oil problem. And they were correct. That was the issue. Instead of having to redesign the engine, I just had to do a better quality oil.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Welcome back to Loretta Lynn Ranch and the Parts Unlimited Loretta Lynn's GNCC. There's Charlie Mullins, your leader. Josh Strang in second. So it has been an up and down race for Caleb Russell. There he is. He's led a bit, second a bit, dropped to fourth. Well, when he changed goggles on the trail, now third. Here's Mullins. Man, he looks good today. There's Strang, though. I'm telling you, this guy from Australia is so determined. He was at the top of this mountain once, GNCC champion a few years ago. He knows he has the ability to get back there with those two. Could today be the day he fully does it straight up? Great battling there between Jason Thomas and I believe Jordan Ashburn. Here's Strang in that Rocky Mountain ATV MC Yamaha. Splitting the KTMs. That has been the goal all season long for him. Get in the fight. As for the hot rod here, Mullins ending that win streak of Russell at the last one. Trying to ride that momentum. And Russell was really upset at the end of that last race. He had a big crash midway through. Was only able to get to third. He wasn't happy about it at all. So lots of motivation for these top 3. It's a mental game for sure. Russell looks to have made the move on Strang and picked up the pace. Strang going to try to hang with him, and both will try to make a run for the back fender of Mullins. Oh, they're pretty close now. There's Russell. He could probably see Mullins now in some of the faster sections and the longer straightaways of the course. Strang back there in third. Cool little area here for the spectators and the team's mechanics to see what's going on. I think that's Big Eddie Ray cheering on his rider. He's the mechanic for Strang. Feet off the pegs for Mullins. Look at this line. Off the main trail, found some smooth dirt. Let's see how Russell plays it. He's going to go, will attempt to go right up the middle. It's a lot of work. Oh man, Strang does not want to let them get away. Up on the pegs. Fighting hard. Wow, that looks spectacular what Mullins is able to do. Standing up, letting the bike work underneath him. Russell a little more traditional there, sitting down through those corners. These three are on the gas. Now we see Russell go by with the lead. So a big change up there, a switch over with the FMF KTM teammates. Mullins must have made a mistake, and here he is now trying to make up some ground. Caleb Russell back to the lead again. You know this one's not over. Strang is still in it too.
Sometimes you come across something so different, you just have to stop and check it out. The Rocky Mountain ATV MC website has everything you need, from our huge selection of tires, ATV and UTV accessories, and OEM parts, to our online chat, customer reviews, and instructional videos. Our extensive inventory means most orders arrive in 3 days or less. Get low prices, quick shipping, and incredible customer service. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL. By Rocky Mountain ATV MC. And by Can-Am. Caleb Russell out front now at the Parts Unlimited Loretta Lynn Ranch GNCC. We'll see if he can start to extend it now. Yeah, it's just a little bit. We're still waiting on second place. Here's Charlie Mullins. So Mullins has some work to do. And it's riding like this. That has allowed Russell to take the lead and open it up. That is just sheer aggression right there. Checking in on Strang in third. Lost a little bit of ground. But hungry like the wolf, as they say. Doesn't want to let them permanently out of sight. Wants to battle with them right down near the end. Russell working his way out of the forest here. You can see the two different types of terrain. You have these field sections, the flatlands where the motocross track is, and down by the river. All this stuff is pretty flat. Obviously it's rough, but no elevation change. But almost all the race trail is up or down. As you see Strang dealing with that at the moment. Back to Russell in the lead. Stood up through that entire section. See how Mullins handles it. Look at the difference now. Before we were mentioning Mullins standing up, Russell sitting down. Now the exact opposite. Watch Strang style through here. Nice job making that a little double jump into that section. Well, whatever Russell is doing, it's working. There's no doubt of the confidence of this guy. And no doubt of the speed. He's just got to avoid the mistakes. That's what's messed him up at a couple of races this year. He's looking good right now. Lap traffic. Whoa, feet off the pegs. I don't know if that forced Russell into a different line or what it was, but the traffic is going to be a factor out here. It always is in GNCC. Could be the opportunity Mullins and Strang are waiting for. Russell getting the pit board from his wife Chandler there on the right side of the track. So the KTM and Husqvarna teams, not surprisingly, working very hard together. Mullins splitting the lap rider. That was close. That's Mullins' dad there on the left. Certainly some concern as Russell begins to get away. There's Strang in third. Let's give you the Rocky Mountain ATV MC slow-mo replay. We're going to analyze just how hard these guys really go. Now look at the terrain. You can see all that shale rock, and the dirt is kind of hard underneath that. So it is ultra slippery. You've almost got gravel on top of hard dirt. And watch Russell when you see in slow motion. That tire is spinning in most of these sections. Look at it right there. With that makes the bike go sideways, you're going into a tree. That is how close to the edge the GNCC Elite are. And they do not care. Russell knows he can spin that tire all day long. He will keep that bike straight. He'll do exactly what he needs to do to not tag one of these things. And they do not move. If you hit them with the handlebars, the front tire, whatever, you are going to go down. It's amazing. No, that doesn't happen very often with the speeds these guys are running. Russell bringing it in. So things looking good right now. White flag is out. Now we hear that Russell is going to stop for a splash of fuel. And he just got the pit board from the team manager, Antti Kallinen. We'll see if Mullins is going to stop for gas as well. Mullins rides the 450, Russell the 350. Let's see how this one shakes out. We'll be right back.
What do you call a machine that combines precision-engineered handling, industry-leading power, and a rider-focused design? We call it a Can-Am. From the essentials to fully loaded, you'll find that same combination in every ATV and side-by-side we build. And right now, get your own for as low as $149 a month. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Caleb Russell on the charge. Charlie Mullins is close now. We mentioned the gas situation. Russell stopped for a splash of fuel. He still has the lead, but this is as close as Mullins has been the last few laps. Here, Josh Strang in third, still digging, hoping for an opening. Russell is really on the gas now, trying to open that lead back up. And Mullins has got to feel he's got a legit shot at this one. That's all you want to do is just be in position on the last lap, and he is. He's got his teammate in sight. It's good. We actually haven't seen a lot of the bar-to-bar battles with these two this year. Seems like one has a good day, one has a bad day in alternating fashion. This is going to be a bare-knuckle, knockdown, drag-out brawl for the victory. Look how close it is. Got to work their way up and down this hill. Now here's one of the flat sections we've seen time and time again today. It's gotten rougher and rougher, though. Look at that. Mullins having a tough time getting a drive out of that corner. It's so whooped out. Strang taking a look over. Not sure if he's having an issue here. And he's trying to protect his position, but he doesn't look quite as aggressive as he has for most of the day. So it might be a two-rider fight after all. I thought Strang might have had the opportunity he was looking for to run with the lead dogs. He did for most of it, but in this last lap, these two, they are absolutely hauling. Oh! Little mistake. Almost tagging that tree square was Mullins. That's the breathing room Russell's looking for. Although it's still not much. These guys working their way in and out of the shadows, too. That cannot make it easy. Constantly trying to adjust to the changing light. Oh, Strang held up big time by lap traffic. You got Chris Bach in fourth, working on his best ride of the season on the JCR Rockstar Honda. Ashburn, DeLong, and Whibley are next. So Strang sort of in a void here, not close enough to run with the KTM riders on this last lap, but far enough ahead where he doesn't have to worry really much about who's behind him. He's in no man's land. These two, meanwhile, they don't need pit boards, stopwatches, transponders, anything. They just know they got to beat each other, and Charlie Mullins has taken the lead. There's Russell, so he has lost some time. Must have made a mistake. Can Mullins bring it home? You know Russell is going to give it everything he has down the stretch. Very upset about the way the last event went only finished third. He doesn't want to lose any of these, let alone give Mullins a few more points in the championship. Boy, look how rough this section is. It's practically a motocross track here. And they're working the grass, trying to find a smooth line. Russell does not care about style points or anything like that now. He's going for it. But time is running out. We're onto the motocross track for the last time, and Mullins is pushing the pace. It looks like today the hot rod is going to handle the heat. That was a high-stakes game on that final lap. A mistake by Russell. Actually, it was all preceded by that quick splash of gas. That put the wind back in Mullins' sails. He's got this one. It looks like it's going to be 2 in a row for Charlie Mullins and a little bit bigger gap in the point standings. Got to be proud of this effort. Making it happen in the last lap, Charlie Mullins wins here at Loretta Lynn's. And Caleb Russell, second place would be good for any of these guys except the champion. He's not going to be happy about it. Josh Strang, like we said, he's in the void right now. He's got everyone else covered, but he's still trying to solve the riddle of those 2 orange bikes out front, and credit to him, he's not going to be satisfied with third. He knows he can win races in the Grand National Cross Country Series. He's done it before. You know one of these days he's going to make it happen again. Bach showing some signs there. Been a rough start to the season for the Johnny Campbell Racing Rockstar Honda team. Good to see him up there in 4th. Ashburn rounds out the top 5. We'll show you XC2. Grant Baylor, defending champ. He's also had an up and down start to the season, but back in victory lane today over Ricky Russell, who's become a genuine championship threat to Baylor. And as always, we send our thoughts and prayers to Rory Mead, the New Zealander who was leading the series early. He's out with a devastating injury from round 3. Hope he gets well soon. Hope to see him back at the races. Here's our AMSOIL GNCC standings. Mullins now to 12 over Russell. That's the difference 2 in a row makes. Strang is third. Like we said, he's in the void. He wants more. Let's give you the AMSOIL race recap. A great start again for Caleb Russell, who, no offense, but used to be really one of the worst starters in the XC1 class. I don't think he used to care about it. Now he's got it dialed, but then he stopped for goggles on lap 1, and that allowed a bunch of riders to get by. Wouldn't take long before he worked his way all the way back to the lead. Mullins was close for a while. Russell pulled away, but then in the last lap, Mullins comes back. Russell makes a mistake, and the hot rod grabs the lead and the victory. Can't say he didn't earn that one. That was 3 hours of fight in the mud and the heat. Congrats to the hot rod. Thanks for watching.